Pueblo County's coroner will resign after investigators found decomposing bodies hidden in his funeral home. Republican Brian Cotter has not been charged with a crime at this point, but he was facing a recall. And leaders from the local level up to the governor have said he has no business in elected office, given what was in that back room at his mortuary. An attorney for Cotter submitted the resignation to Pueblo County commissioners late this afternoon. He says he'll be out as of September 2nd. The attorney says the coroner went to the hospital himself for a cardiac event after those bodies were discovered during a routine inspection at Davis Mortuary. Investigators say 24 bodies, boxes of bones, and other remains were improperly stored at that mortuary. Some of them had been there for up to 15 years. They're still working to identify the remains and notify families. Cotter told investigators he may have given some of those families fake cremated remains. We don't know how and when Cotter will be replaced as coroner yet. The Fremont and El Paso County coroners have been handling his investigations since this all broke. Governor Jared Polis speaks softly and carries a big shtick. Every one of his announcements comes with some cringy stunt, swinging a baseball bat, using a table saw. Our Marshall Zellinger cuts through the shtick that came with the governor's budget cuts announced this morning.
Taking the pen he used to sign the executive order cutting almost $103 million in program spending,
Colorado budget is balanced.
Democratic Governor Jared Polis joked he officially balanced Colorado's budget after Republicans in Congress made it almost $800 million short by changing tax policies.
While we succeeded in holding K-12 schools harmless, public safety harmless, the rest of the cuts are spread around.
The largest cut is $38 million to Medicaid reimbursement rates, the amount of money providers get paid to see Medicaid patients.
It rolls back the provider rates that turned on July 1st to the same level as last year. So in effect, it's a freeze.
Why that you cut provider rates and you cut health care essentially for making it difficult for families that are on Medicaid to access health care.
After announcing the cuts this morning, Polis and his budget director, Mark Ferrandino, explained them to the lawmakers on the Joint Budget Committee, who simply had to accept them.
I don't know how they can do this without damaging the providers significant.
You can tell Medicaid funding is a hot-button topic for how passionate the conversation became.
And if we just say we're not going to address Medicaid, Medicaid, I worked there for a while.
Another cut wasn't exactly a cut. $105 million is being diverted from affordable housing. In 2022, voters passed Proposition 123, which took a portion of the state's income tax to fund affordable housing. But apparently, it also funds budget shortages. The Blue Book explanation of the ballot measure said the state legislature can reduce part of the new funding to the affordable housing programs to balance the state budget. Other cuts included $3.7 million for transgender health care in prisons and $1.7 million for mental health hospitals. The governor explained those dollar amounts are above and beyond what those programs need, so it's excess money being taken away.
The total dollar amount that needed to be saved is really anywhere between like $750 and $800 million. So the cuts were $103 million. There's $328 million that are coming from the state's piggy bank. The $328 million represents a fraction of the $2.4 billion in the reserve. And then there's $146 million that just gets shifted around. Think of it as you pay fees to like parks and wildlife to go visit a park, and maybe they collect more than they're supposed to use. The excess sits in this like little savings account that lawmakers can be like, oh, we need that over here this time.
I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm not sure I followed all those numbers, but I get the gist of what's happened. Here's the deal with the Medicaid rolls, right? The state has some sway over who goes onto those rolls, right? Like in red states, the rolls include a lot fewer people than you'll see in Colorado.
I believe the number I saw most recently is all but 10 states have expanded the population. And so Colorado's in the majority that has expanded the population. Childless adults, if you meet a certain income, children under the age of 18, regardless of documented status. So that's decisions the state has made that requires the state to fund perhaps more than the federal government is willing to reimburse now.
I bet that will be a topic of continuing conversation. Marshall, thank you. Denver's about to shut down most city offices for a 4-day weekend, although you're not going to find the employees celebrating because tomorrow's the first of 2 citywide furlough days, part of Mayor Mike Johnson's plan to deal with a $200 million budget hole. Most city agencies will be closed tomorrow through Labor Day holiday, so that meant no compost collection this week, delayed trash pickup next week. That's not due to the furlough, that's just due to the holiday. And it means that county courts, DMV offices, libraries, and rec centers will be shut down tomorrow. 311, the city's non-emergency line, is also going to be unavailable. Police, sheriff, and fire, they'll keep working. About 9,000 city employees will have furlough days over the next few months. The highest paid employees have to take up to 7 furlough days. And then as you go down the scale of pay, there will only be 2 furlough days that impact all city employees. That's tomorrow and then Friday, November 28th. The Trump administration is laser focused on the biggest issue facing Denver public schools right now. Not school safety, not test scores, it's that bathroom, that single gender-neutral bathroom they have at East High School. The Trump administration is giving DPS 10 days to agree to dismantle the bathroom or face consequences. Back in January, DPS converted a girls' restroom at East High to a gender-neutral bathroom. District said the change was requested by students. Soon after, the Department of Ed opened an investigation into claims that this was discrimination against girls. In a ruling today, the Education Department's Office of Civil Rights said the bathroom violates federal anti-discrimination law and ordered DPS to switch that bathroom back. They also ordered the district to drop a policy that allows students to use school facilities that correspond with their gender identity and not their sex assigned at birth. There was a late bathroom change at East, though. The Fed said that DPS recently switching another bathroom, a boys' bathroom, into another gender-neutral bathroom at East did not undo the damage to the girls. So the Trump administration is threatening, quote, imminent enforcement action after 10 days. DPS said it's still determining next steps. The Centers for Disease Control is in shambles as Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. replaces science and scientists with conspiracy theories and his anti-vaccine agenda. But Democratic Governor Jared Polis is standing by his enthusiastic endorsement of Kennedy to continue leading America's health systems. There's been a stream of resignations and firings at the CDC this week as medical leaders refuse to implement RFK Jr.'s various discredited ideas about vaccines and public health. Governor Polis was all in on RFK's nomination when it happened, said that he would be willing to take on big pharma and vaccine mandates. Today, our Marshall Zellinger asked the governor if, after this purge at the CDC and the rise of this anti-vax crusade, if he's still on board with RFK Jr.
Do you regret your vocal support of RFK Jr.?
Well, I try to work with anybody, as you know, Marshall, and I was glad that President Trump didn't put a pharmaceutical lobbyist in that position like he did last time. We hope to work on making America healthier, and we already got a SNAP waiver with regard to improving the quality of food available to our lowest income Coloradans and helping to end food deserts. So I've always been critical of his stance on vaccinations, which seem to be the crux of what this current issue is about.
In fact, RFK Jr.'s pseudoscience goes beyond his views on vaccines. Just this week, he said that he could diagnose children as he passed them in airports as being, quote, overburdened with mitochondrial challenges, adding, quote, I know what a healthy child is supposed to look like. Ever wish you could just breeze through traffic with a police escort through town? You can't, though, because you're not a DJ who arrived at the airport late and got the VIP treatment from Denver police. Our Evan Krugel has the video that has city leaders asking for an explanation.
Passengers arriving at DIA have plenty of ways to get to downtown Denver, but most don't have access to this option, a high-speed ride in a Denver cop car. Treatment European artist Gorgon City says they got 2 weeks ago after arriving at the airport late for their Denver gig.
To get someone who is physically well and able to a destination. That is not the use of the Denver Police Department in any way, shape, or form.
Councilmember Stacey Gilmore represents the airport district and has plenty of questions.
Where in that whole scenario was there maybe an officer that was like, yo, this is not gonna go well?
It's a little dubious.
Rufina Hernandez has questions too.
Can any of us get that kind of, special Escort?
She's a member of Denver's Citizen Oversight Board, which is now planning to ask DPD for an investigation after we brought the video to the board's attention.
Because if they get into an accident or they cause an accident, the city is the one that's going to bear the responsibility of any damage. And heaven forbid there should be any injuries.
Guidelines say Denver officers can only use so-called emergency driving when responding to an actual emergency. But there are two exceptions: if it's requested by a police dispatcher or if it's approved by a supervisor. It's unclear if either of those happened here.
I want to know who authorized that. I want to know on what basis did they authorize that? Because this is serious.
Now, a Denver police spokesperson just responded to our request, saying typically we do not do these type of escorts. He said they're working to gather more information, but the supervisor with details on this is out until Tuesday. Kyle, we will certainly update this story and continue asking questions once we get that information.
Great news. We have a show next Tuesday. I'm genuinely interested in this, right? Like, is this DJ just like super charismatic and talked his way into this? Or do they have a list where it's like, yeah, you can give the VIP speed treatment to the following types of people?
Yeah, and that's the big question here. Who qualifies for this and what do you have to do to get this? Kyle, if we see you showing up in a squad car on Tuesday, we know you finally made it.
I'm going to walk up to one of those fine officers outside DIA and just say, I have the need for speed. And we'll see what they do. I'm going to
worth a shot.
I'm going to get arrested. All right, Evan Krugel, thank you. An effort to stop Colorado from bringing in more wolves falls short. It means you will not be voting up or down on these guys in November. And the latest trend in mountain rescues don't involve people. It's pets getting stuck and needing help. Got to go grab them before the wolves get there. That's next. I suppose there are Coloradans who don't care one way or another about the wolves. I just haven't met those people. But that hot button issue is not going to be on the ballot in November because the folks behind a ballot initiative that would have ended wolf releases on the western slope came up way short on required signatures. They call themselves Coloradans for Smart Wolf Policy. They were backing a ballot measure that would have ordered Colorado Parks and Wildlife to stop bringing in new wolves by the end of next year. They were supposed to turn in nearly 125,000 signatures. They told the Colorado Sun they only got about 25,000. They say they may try again in future elections.
Good evening. We've been waiting all day for the showers to move into Denver, and they're finally starting to move in from the west. We had enough sunshine today to get to 80 degrees, so it was a little bit warmer, and the sky was so blue today without a lot of the smoke and haze we've seen. Beautiful look at Fort Collins. We've had some brief heavy downpours in Fort Collins and up over the I-70 area. Temperatures are trending a little bit cooler now with the cloud cover and the showers that are moving through. We have a couple of severe cells out on the far northeastern plains because of the potential for hail and damaging wind. No hail or damaging wind reports, but areas around Akron, Flagler, and out to Ray. Be on the lookout for some strong thunderstorms just outside the Sterling area as well. They're moving pretty quickly to the southeast, and right over downtown Denver now we have a brief heavy downpour. It shouldn't last too long. We have a little thunder and lightning out there. These storms are going to go until about 8-9 o'clock around the Byers, DIA, and Fort Morgan area. So just be aware of that. And then skies will clear. We're going to do this all over again tomorrow. Temperatures will trend cool in the 60s overnight. We've got 2 days below average with a chance for rain both Friday and Saturday, and then a warming and drying trend for the holiday weekend. Labor Day, sunshine, and 84 degrees.
For years here on Next, we have recommended journalism and other work to you that is not ours, but we think is worth your time. In that spirit, we're airing a multi-part project in defense of journalism. It's called A Matter of Fact. For the next 11 weeks, we will continue airing a series of shorts put together by Coloradans who are determined to prove to Americans that journalism isn't partisan, it's patriotic.
What does society look like without a free press? It can get pretty dark. Throughout the ages, those who have called out their leaders for their lies, cheats, or wrongdoing have not been treated well. Oh, I know what you're saying. That was then. This is now. Well, guess what? It's still happening today. And as a matter of fact, there's an effort to limit and restrict the press's ability to do its job, to be a watchdog holding the government accountable. Some lawmakers here in Colorado are trying to make it harder for journalists to get public records. Records that hold valuable information that could impact your life in a big way and may hold those lawmakers accountable to you. A robust press helps keep them in check and their public business out in the open, where it belongs. It's one big reason why our founding fathers wrote the First Amendment in the first place. It's a bedrock of a free and open society, and that's a matter of fact.
We'll share more short episodes of A Matter of Fact each Thursday through early November, when we'll air a documentary showing Colorado's journalists at work. You can learn more about that project at 9news.com/free press. Coloradans will go anywhere with our pets.
I mean, we all love to recreate with our pet. They are our best friends.
More and more of those best friends are needing to have their furry butts hauled off mountainsides by search and rescue, so perhaps they should stay at home. It's next. If you're hiking with your dog and only bringing poop bags, you could end up in deep trouble, because more and more Coloradans are needing rescues for their hiking pets.
Dipsy, come here. Bring me the stick. Being in nature and hiking in the mountains is my happy place, but adding dogs to it just elevates it. Are you just having so much fun? I know, yeah. I've noticed a huge uptick in people taking their dogs hiking. Good puppies, yes, 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 yes. My name's Anya Thompson. I have an off-leash dog hiking service called Happy Dog Hike Club. Happy dogs! Sometimes I see people out maybe without the preparations for taking care of any kind of emergency that might happen.
Be prepared, not only for you, but for your pet too. Hi, I'm Nicole Lathrop, and I'm part of Chaffee County Search and Rescue. I mean, we all love to recreate with our pet. They are our best friends. However, on the flip side of that, it may not be the best idea to bring your dog just because you are not sure of the environment you're getting into. So we've had a couple of posts over the last few weeks about missions that we have been on where unfortunately, a canine and their owner has been in a situation where they've needed additional assistance. If you're going to take your dog with you, do you have a water bowl?
They can easily overheat.
Have extra supplies of everything for your dog.
And here I have basic first aid.
If your dog doesn't really hike and the first time it's like, hey, I'm going to go do a 14er and I think I'm going to bring my dog along, that's probably going to have a very different outcome than somebody who hikes regularly with their dog.
And this is actually a sling that goes under the dog and you put it on your back and can carry the dog out. Enjoy the time with your dog while you're hiking. However, just make sure you're prepared and have water, have things in place so that it can be a safe experience for everybody. You guys did so good. Are you ready to go home? Yes. Oh, yes.
I can't let Abby see that there's a back sling for dogs. She'll never go on another run again. We're back with your feedback next. Jim says, I know you won't have the answer to this, then why are you asking, Jim? But why would you keep bodies in your building for 15 plus years? I don't know, Jim. I didn't keep bodies in my building for 15 years, so I don't know why you do that. But I presume it was just cheaper than whatever they were supposed to be doing with the bodies. John writes in to say, you should have mentioned dog altitude sickness. It's a real thing. I imagine that it would be. Best tip I ever got about running with a dog is to remember that they won't quit on you because they don't want to disappoint you. So you got to watch out for them.